Hello, both sides of the conversation family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we are about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome, everybody, to both sides of the conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Thursday, so you guys know what that means. There's another Educational Thursday presentation that's coming out to community, and tonight is a phenomenal, very important conversation tonight and presentation. So just excited about tonight's show. We have our young people back here again. You guys know me. I'm all about my young people. On Tuesday night, we had an epic show with our young graduates, and today we have our juniors coming on here to educate the community and rock them with information. I know a lot of people are coming in running late. I was out in the community talking to people, and a lot of people say, hey, I got to check this out because I really didn't really know what Juneteenth was really all about. I just thought it was a good time to celebrate with my people. So we got our young people here that's going to bless the community, give them the information so we can really get the proper information to the community so they know what Juneteenth is really about, and some other important information I think everybody would like tonight. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and introduce tonight's Educational Thursday presenters. We have the 100% College Prep staff, the Bayview Black Student Union, and they're going to come on here and do a phenomenal job. This is a way to educate our culture. The Bayview Black Student Union, 100% College Prep staff will teach you why Juneteenth is so important and culturally celebrated. And I think tonight is what everybody's been waiting for, great information. So we're going to go ahead, bring everybody up, and we're going to start introducing our young people to the community, and they're going to jump into tonight's Educational Thursday presentation. Hello, everybody.
Good afternoon. How are y'all?
Good.
Great. How about yourself?
Victoria?
I'm good.
Okay, I got to check your temperature. So tonight, you know what we have to do. We are responsible for kicking off and educating our people about Juneteenth. Are you ready?
Yes.
You fired up? Are you ready to go?
I want to know why y'all not fired up. Hold on. Why y'all not fired up? This is something that we should celebrate. Y'all should be pumped. Let's go. Let's let the people know.
I've been in college all day.
Young people
I've been at work all evening.
Let's let them know. We raising the roof.
Let's let them know. Y'all was in college this morning. Then you went to your MyEap job this afternoon. Now you about to present this evening. So y'all some busy Black Student Union students. I'm just saying. Thank you. Opportunity for all in MyEap. All right, well, let's
y'all need to educate me because I don't know what Juneteenth is and I want to know. So y'all got to tell me so I can tell somebody else. So I need to know. Y'all tell me.
All right, Malik, let's get the slides up.
All right, can y'all see my screen?
Yep, go ahead, hit present. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Tonight we will be presenting about what is Juneteenth. My name is Tichelle, and I'm the Associate Director for 100% College Prep. And alongside of me is my colleague, Malik. Introduce yourself.
How you guys doing? My name is Malik. I am a student success coach at 100% College Prep.
Next will be our 11th grade president of Bayview BSU, Jermaine. Introduce yourself. You on mute?
Hi, my name is Jermaine. I'm one of the presidents of Bayview BSU, and I'm 16 and I go to Mission High School.
Thank you. And then next is our Victoria, Queen Victoria. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Victoria. I'm in 11th grade and I go to Washington High School.
Superstar track star. All right. So we are going to start our presentation off. Malik, kick it off.
All right.
Juneteenth is our story. Our story consists of telling it our way. And if anyone is offended by us telling our story, stay offended because we're going to tell the truth. Next slide. Jermaine?
Why is Juneteenth important?
That is not what the slide say. Look at the screen.
What is Juneteenth?
Juneteenth is the oldest national celebrated, what's that word?
Commemoration.
Thank you. Of the ending of enslavement in the United States of America. It is the cultural celebration that is known as Freedom Day, Jubilee Day, Liberation Day, Emancipation Day for all enslaved people. So Jermaine, what is Juneteenth?
Juneteenth is a very much celebrated holiday that needs to be recognized.
Okay, next slide.
Why is Juneteenth important? Juneteenth is important because it celebrates a form of resistance. In parentheses, the law of manumission in May 1782. Manumission was a way for enslaved or indentured people to earn their freedom with an agreement. It was normally a contract, which would be either verbal or written.
Where have you heard this term before, Victoria?
In the movie Harriet, when she was trying to get her freedom, basically.
Absolutely. Yes. All right, next slide.
Why is Juneteenth important? Juneteenth became a celebration of freedom for enslaved people that occurred on June 19, 1865 in Galveston, Texas. Following the freedom of celebration, the 13th Amendment was ratified and made official December 6, 1865. As a result, a hate group was formed and made.
Here's the top search result.
As a result, a hate group was formed and named Ku Klux Klan, who terrorized Black people and African people. December 24th, 1865.
Okay, next slide.
So why is Juneteenth important and why do we celebrate it? Well, we celebrate Juneteenth to remember the thousands of African American soldiers, both men and women, who fought for their freedom during the Civil War. We celebrate Juneteenth to honor our ancestors who had the strength and courage to walk off plantations and migrate west and north in search of reconstructing their lives. We celebrate Juneteenth, lastly, to denounce and resist white supremacy. And in some of these photos that you see, we have notable figures with incredible lives and stories to tell. As forward or mentioned by Victoria, Harriet, and the whole thing with manumission, right? But there's also other movies, such as Glory, which in gave the insight of the 54th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment. And in that regiment, both Charles and Lewis Douglas, sons of Frederick Douglass, served in the Civil War.
And as a result of our wonderful ancestors fighting in the Civil War, such as Harriet Tubman, who was a nurse, a spy, a freedom fighter, people who fought in the Civil War were promised 40 acres and a mule. This is part of the Special Field Order number 15 during the wartime that it was proclaimed by a General Sherman in 1865. If you fought for the American Civil War, you had the right to get land, and families who fought in that war or who were freemen were given plots of land no larger than 40 acres. So they migrated out west toward Nebraska, Montana. And so that's where you get the Black cowboys. So following Juneteenth, they came out west, and the first cowboys in this country were Black. See the picture in the middle? There you go. Next slide. Jermaine?
The Statue of Liberty is a symbolization of freedom. On June 19th, 1885, the U.S. was given the Statue of Liberty as a gift from the French government, commemorating the alliance of France and the United States of America during the American Revolution. It is also a symbol of celebration of the Union's victory in the American Civil War and abolishing the slavery.
See the chains on her feet? Those are the breaking chains. So France gave us this as a symbolic message to symbolize freedom. And I just heard this morning on CNN, they're about to send another one. So hopefully, she got a black face and a broad nose, because that's what I look like. Next slide.
So the Emancipation Proclamation. The President of the United States of America, a proclamation. Whereas on the 22nd day of September in the year of our Lord, 1862, a proclamation was issued by the President of the United States containing, among other things, the following to wit: that on the first day of January in the year of our Lord, 1863, all persons held as slaves within the states or designated parts of a state, the people whereof shall then be in rebellion against the United States, shall be then thereforward and forever free. And the executive government of the United States, including the military and naval authority thereof, will recognize and maintain the freedom of such persons, and will do no act or acts to repress such persons or any of them in any effort they may make for their actual freedom.
Sounds good, especially if it was written by an illiterate person, because Abraham Lincoln was that. He didn't read nor write, but it sounds good. Victoria, what color is a penny?
Copper, like the color of our skin.
Exactly. That is our coin, the people's coin. Is the color of our skin, and that is why Abraham Lincoln is on it. Some people felt some type of way, but in this country, I like to see the penny because it makes me feel that I'm part of this country, and it matches my skin tone. bronze, the color of Jesus' skin as well. Next slide. Now, our story about the Emancipation Proclamation, this is the truth. It was written at Frederick Douglass's house in Maryland. It was written at that desk that you see in the upper left-hand corner, picture A. Picture B shows that desk. It shows Abraham Lincoln sitting there with a pen in his hand, some paper, two men standing behind him, and then Frederick Douglass. Notice what Frederick Douglass has on his shoulders. A shawl. Men did not wear shawls. Only women. So now let's go to picture C. In picture C is Abraham Lincoln sitting at the desk of Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth standing over him. You see the window in the background, Jermaine and Victoria? That's the same window in picture A. This is how the Emancipation Proclamation was delivered to President Lincoln. Sojourner Truth is and still is the best oratorical person who ever lived. She spoke fluent Dutch. She was never enslaved. She was an indentured servant. And upon her doing her greatest speeches, Ain't I a Woman, she got the chance to meet with President Lincoln. So picture number A, B, C. Picture D is what you will see in your United States history books. That is a fake picture. How do we know it's a fake picture, Jermaine? Could Black people read?
No.
I'm sorry, I said it incorrectly. Could enslaved Black people read?
No.
Some, but no. It was against the law. Frederick Douglass taught the person who owned him taught him how to read. And he was enslaved, but he escaped. And so he did know how to read. But Sojourner Truth did not know how to read nor write. She too was illiterate. So then picture E, it shows Abraham Lincoln, some men standing over him, and he's writing. Okay. Picture number A, B, C, D, E, F. It has a picture of Abraham Lincoln with more people around the table. His arms are at his side because he can't read nor write. So why would your hands be on a piece of paper? So then you look in that chair. Can you circle that chair, Malik? That chair has the shawl, the same shawl that is in picture number C, and picture number D, and picture number E, and picture number F. That shawl belonged to a female. But in this country, to be a female, you didn't have a voice. And so with that said, Sojourner Truth dictated the Emancipation Proclamation to Abraham Lincoln, which is chiseled on the Lincoln Monument in DC. And when I go on college tours, I have the students read it verbatim because it is one of the greatest speeches or declarations that was ever written. Sojourner Truth and Frederick Douglass dictated what to write to President Lincoln, but they were left out of historical pictures and documentations because they were Black. And so was Sojourner Truth's glasses. Picture E shows her with glasses and a bonnet on because she was of divine faith. But picture D, she has no glasses on. She's opening a book and she's reading a book to the president. That doesn't even make sense. So when you look at U.S. history books, I want you to really be analytical about what is the truth. Picture C, that's the truth. Next slide.
When is Juneteenth? Juneteenth is the week of June 19th to June 25th. It is a national, federal recognized holiday and cultural celebration. Juneteenth is considered the longest running African American holiday and has been called America's Second Independence Day. Juneteenth is usually celebrated on the third Sunday in June. It took 2 years, 5 months, and 18 days for the enslaved people in Galveston, Texas, to learn that they had been freed by the Emancipation Proclamation, June 19th in 1863.
Jermaine? You're on mute.
June 19th, June 19th is a holiday in the United States of America?
47 of the 50 U.S. states and the District of Columbia have recognized Juneteenth as either a state holiday or a ceremony, day of observation. The 3 states that do not recognize Juneteenth are Hawaii, North Dakota, and South Dakota. But Juneteenth is a holiday celebrated by Black Americans to commemorate when the last enslaved Black people were finally freed.
So being that Juneteenth is celebrated in California, it was passed in California's legislation, whereas it says the people of the state of California do enact as follows. Section 1, the legislator hereby finds and declares all of the following. Section 1A, Juneteenth, National Freedom Day, also known as Emancipation Day, Emancipation Celebration, Freedom Day, June, and Juneteenth, was first observed 136 years ago and is the oldest and only African American holiday observance in the United States. Section 1F. Observance of Juneteenth, National Freedom Day, a reminder of emancipation spread from Texas to the neighboring states of Louisiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma, as well as Alabama, Florida, and California, where many African American Texans migrated. Juneteenth National Freedom Day symbolizes freedom, celebrates the abolishment of slavery, and reminds all Americans of the significant contributions of African Americans to our society.
The cultural impact of Juneteenth. All enslaved people, or should I say most enslaved people, were forbidden to read, write, travel, and gather in groups. So a general in the United States Army named Granger, first order of business was to read to the illiterate people in Texas the Emancipation Proclamation from President Lincoln. Most freed people, before Granger finished the reading of the Emancipation Proclamation, they left. It is known as the scatter, when thousands of former enslaved people left the state of Texas in order to find family members and to better accommodations in the North and the West, because the codes that were given to Black people, they couldn't gather in groups. They couldn't go to barbecues. They couldn't go to school. They could go to church, but it had to be monitored by overseers. So now, since they were free, they scattered. Next slide.
So the first Juneteenth celebration took place in 1866 in Texas, with community gatherings including sporting events, cookouts, prayers, dances, parades, and the singing of Negro spirituals. Some events even featured fireworks. At the core of the celebrations was an occasion for gathering lost family members, measuring progress and self-improvement and racial uplift. Free men and children would read the Emancipation Proclamation out loud as a part of Juneteenth celebration. And as you see, here it is that we have just Black people being great. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I personally believe that, you know, we got so much swagger, you know what I'm saying, from the way that we walk to the way that we talk to, you know, the way that we dress. And I mean, putting on our Sunday, when people say put on your Sunday's best, like this is what we're talking about in this picture to the right here. You know what I mean? Same thing for the picture in the left. You know what I'm saying? You have the man with the big cello, you know, playing music and just having a good time. You know what I mean? And then too, like over here, you got our ladies out here with they big church hat on, you know what I'm saying, sitting on 24s, like, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, like we been knew what was up, you know what I mean, all the way from the 1800s. So I mean, don't. If anybody got a problem, if you want to get you some big old rims, anybody got a problem with that, man? Like, come on, man. I've been like this. You know what I'm saying? All my family been like, my people been like this. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't gonna stop. You know. And by the way, this white stuff on the horse carriage wheels is cotton. So I mean, some people would look down upon that and like, you know, try to assimilate to, you know, proper American culture. But I mean, like, I'm black. I'm unapologetic. I'm me all day, 24/7. So I mean, like, you know, I'm gonna do me. You know what I'm saying? Because my ancestors did them. You know, and they were unapologetic. So I think that's just a beautiful thing, just to see us always be coming together and celebrating. You know what I'm saying? Some of this stuff we do, and like it's like, why do we even do these things? Well, it's hereditary. It's in our DNA. You know, and this is just a fine proof of that.
You said that so well, Malik. Like, wait, go back to that slide. Have you ever seen, Jermaine, 24s with chromes and spinners on the cars that go up and down?
Yeah, I see that a lot.
But do you see it in this picture? That's cotton. That's the cash crop of our ancestors. They got them. Those wheels are like at least 42 inches. Them ain't no 20s. Them is big wheels, and cotton is through and through. And then that white horse, a white horse costs more than a brown horse. And then look at the Black excellence. Look at their dresses, their hats. Our culture is seen in these pictures. That's Black excellence. All right, next slide.
Emancipation Park. The Emancipation Park was located in Houston, Texas, in the 3rd Ward. 10 acres were purchased in 1872 by former freed enslaved African Americans. Former enslaved African Americans all across Texas collected money to buy property dedicated to all the Juneteenth celebrations. In 1872, they pulled $1,000 to put down on 10 acres of open land as home for their Juneteenth celebration. In honor of their freedom, they named it the Emancipation Park.
All right, let's have a conversation since it's both sides of the conversation. Juneteenth traditions. Jermaine, what do you see in here?
I see some watermelon, chicken, barbecue ribs, red velvet cake, potato salad, and some greens. I see traditional dances. I see traditional parades, and I also see nice gatherings.
What type of food is that, Victoria?
Soul food.
Do you like soul food? Tell the truth.
I love it. Yes, I do.
Because you know your diet.
Vegan.
yeah, vegan. Malik, what's your favorite soul food?
I mean, that's tough. I can't give you a favorite. I can give you like a top 3.
Okay, what's your top 3?
I gotta say yams. I gotta say greens, and give me a biscuit or some cornbread.
Man, hush puppies, watermelon, and greens. I can live off of that, and I'm going to eat it with my hands because that's what we do in Africa and America. These are the traditions that you will see at various Juneteenths. Dancing, African drumming, especially the food. You have the parades, the marches, the celebrations. It's just traditional. Next slide.
And speaking of everything being traditional, I mean, like, again, you know, it's not as Black people, as African Americans here in this country, like, it's not a celebration if we're not eating good, right? And so part of the Juneteenth traditions, right, is our food, and the dishes served up on Juneteenth hold a special meaning as it honors our African American ancestors. Red, found in watermelon, barbecue, and strawberry soda, all exemplify bloodshed and resilience. Greens, such as collards and turnips, symbolize prosperity. Gold, like cornbread or found in sweet potatoes, often served in pies, and cobblers, represent wealth.
All right. Here's another tradition. How many of you knew that there was a Juneteenth flag? There is an actual flag for Juneteenth. The flag behind me, that's our Pan-African flag, which came after the Juneteenth flag, just to let you know. The Juneteenth flag commemorates the day that enslavement ended in the USA. Oops. Internet problems. If y'all can't see me, that's because I'm in the point. The red, white, and blue represents the colors of the American flag. It was designed as a reminder that African and Black people were and are Americans too. The star in the middle pays homage to Texas, while the bursting new star on the horizons of the red and blue fields represent a new freedom and a new people in all 50 states. Now look at that flag. Have you ever seen that flag out here, Victoria?
No, I didn't even know there was a flag for Juneteenth.
You know now. What about you, Jermaine?
No, I have not.
Malik, you from the East Coast. Have you seen this flag before?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, we all learned something new today, huh? Next flag. So here are the celebrations. These come from various parts. Let's talk about how we celebrate. We're going to start with the East Coast, where the sun rises. Malik, how do y'all celebrate Juneteenth in North Carolina?
I mean, to be honest, I didn't even really know Juneteenth was a thing until I came out here. I mean, I feel like I've heard of like certain terms, like Freedom Day and things like that, but like the only celebration that like celebrate, or the only celebration or yeah, I'll say that, that, you know, people really get together for during the summertime is the 4th of July.
Okay. 4th of July, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What about you, Jermaine? How do you celebrate Juneteenth?
I'll celebrate Juneteenth by usually going to the parades in Fillmore that they usually have once a year. And that was usually fun. But for me, I've been celebrating Juneteenth as like a family base wise since 2017.
Okay. Where do you celebrate at?
With my family at my grandmother's house.
Okay. What about you, Victoria?
I really only knew what it was last year because I was in Oakland with my family and it was like, they're doing something at the lake for Juneteenth. Do you want to go? I was like, Juneteenth. And then it was like a whole little thing, party, food, music. So that's the first time I ever knew about Juneteenth or celebrated.
Did you like it? Because I mean, I know you and me don't like to really be around people because we're so cool.
Yeah.
Did you like the Juneteenth celebration? Did you like what you saw? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you remember the most? If you had to tell an alien from Mars about what you saw at Juneteenth, what is one takeaway?
Really the dancing, because it was like nice to see like a lot of Black people together without it being like any drama. It was just a lot of Black people having fun, partying.
Exactly. No drama. This is where I get all my shea butter from. This is where I see dancing. This is where I see queens come out. This is where people pray together. See that picture in the middle? That's prayer. They're praying together. So that's something big that people do at Juneteenth as well. And then they got their solidarity fist in the air. You have a lot of merchants out there selling things. But the one thing I truly love the most is the colors, the red, the black, the green, the yellow, the gold. I love those colors. So I do Juneteenth for just to be around my people. Because, you know, when you're the only Black girl in college or you're the only Black girl in certain areas, you're like, where are my people at? You can find them in Juneteenth. That's why I'm glad it's a whole week. All right, next slide. Just want to send a happy Juneteenth to all of our Black LGBTQIA communities. We are one, and Juneteenth is celebrated amongst them all. There is no segregation when it comes to Juneteenth. We are one people, One Africa, one people. God only made humans. So if you're a human, you're a human, regardless of your preference or your choices in life. Happy Juneteenth to my brothers and sisters. Next slide. This is the Do the Right Thing logo, but I want everybody to remember that June 19th, 1865, 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was read, that is when the last bunch of Black people found out that they were no longer enslaved. That is a monumental day for us. So for the rest of y'all lives, June 19th through the 25th, y'all should be turning up. That's the terminology in 2021, turn up. I don't know what it's going to be next year, but you should always party. And when I say party, you should culturally embrace yourself with things you do not know. You should read books. You should do things that are comfortable and that makes you happy. Next slide. Here in San Francisco, we have several Juneteenth events, and I want to clarify why there are several Juneteenth events. It takes hours to drive across Texas. I don't know how many. Do anybody know how many hours it takes to drive across Texas? It takes a long time. Oh, it takes 10 hours. Okay, good. I got a Paul Quinn alum in the building. 10 hours. So I cannot go to one Juneteenth all the way to Houston if I'm driving 6 hours to Dallas. So here in San Francisco, we have a Juneteenth in Bayview. We have a Juneteenth in Fillmore. We have a Juneteenth at the waterfront. And these are the flyers that were posted on both sides of the conversation so that everyone can know where they can go, what they can do. There's one at Gilman Park on the 20th, one on the 19th in Mendel Plaza, and then on Saturday, the 19th at the waterfront, hosted by Mega Black SF. Next slide. So now I'm from the Bay Area. Oh, go ahead, Malik. Go ahead.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so we also have Juneteenth celebrations out here in the East Bay as well. The NAACP, some of the notable ones is the NAACP. They have a Juneteenth family celebration. It will be Saturday, June 19th from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Temescal Regional Recreation Area. Let's see what else. The one that the Juneteenth that I went to last year was at the Lake Merritt in Oakland, and yeah, Victoria. That was my second time going to Juneteenth celebration, but that was like I can't recall like the last time I've had so much fun. It's just dancing, food. I mean, it was just, yeah, like you saw nothing but melanin, beautiful people, positive vibes. I mean, like if like there was any day that like people say like, oh well, how come Black people can't get along and we can't never do anything right? Well, y'all wasn't there at that Juneteenth, because that Juneteenth, everything went right. Like, I mean, it was phenomenal. So I ain't gonna say hopefully. I'm betting 100 on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be the same thing this year, because this will be like the second annual gathering that they do. But there's also events out besides Oakland and San Francisco. You have a Juneteenth shopping experience going down in Vallejo from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then you also have a Juneteenth celebration out in Antioch on the 19th as well, from 11 a.m. to whenever. I know at 11 they're having a Freedom Peace Walk at 11 a.m. And after that they're having like, the celebration and things like that. And that'll be at the Waldy Plaza in Antioch.
Thank you, Malik. Next slide. So the cultural understanding of Juneteenth. So if you take anything away, I want you to take this. Juneteenth commemorates African and Black Americans freedom, and emphasizes education and cultural achievements. It is a week-long celebration of guest speakers, barbecues, and family gatherings. The reason why I did not say picnic is because of the derogatory term that it is tied to. Our ancestors were hung on timberland trees and they were scouted and picked. And like a Nigger, they were hung on trees. And that's where the term picnic comes from, because they would pick a N word and hang them on the tree. So we do not say picnic. And family gatherings. Juneteenth is a time for reflection and rejoicing among Black people. No drama. Zero tolerance for drama. It is a time for assessment, self-improvement, and planning for the future of Black people. Next slide. Does anybody in the audience have any questions? John, do you have any questions? Tyler, do you have any questions?
Is that the end of the PowerPoint slide?
Usually when people say, do you have any questions? Yes, sir. I'm messing with you, but yeah, this was for you, John. Because you know,
Very
Sunday,
powerful.
you told
My
me
young
you didn't
people.
know
I just want to say, phenomenal job, young people. I do want to clear one thing up because I want to make sure that we're giving the right information. Okay, the copper penny was only used for 1 year, and then in 1793, that 1 year, and then they mixed it with zinc and different things of that nature because of the war. So I just wanted to put that information out there because I want to make sure we have all the proper information. But phenomenal job you all did. This is what Black excellence look like. Our young people, the juniors up here, have just came and gave the information to the community. So now you can't say you don't know what Juneteenth is. We're using this digital platform to educate the community. Should nobody out there not know what Juneteenth is? We'll keep running this and we'll keep educating the community. Very powerful. So I want to ask the young people, how do you feel? I heard Brother Malik say he didn't know about it. It took me a long time. Can't remember the exact age I was before I really knew what it was. I believe it was like, I was probably like 23, 24 years old, but I was never taught this in school. So I learned a lot tonight, a couple of other things. I never seen the Juneteenth flag. I knew about what it meant and all that, but I never seen the flag. So now I'm going to order flags. It looked like the Israel flag in there. I'm going to say, oh, hold on, that's the Israel flag. But again, we do have a flag, everybody. So I want everybody out there, instead of go buy Gucci and all that, go buy a Juneteenth flag to represent our culture and our people. Also, I want people to go out there and check out the California AB 749 bill, the California National Freedom Day. Is your boss letting you off of work? They signed the bill in place. They should be giving everybody a day. I said national holiday, right? So education, information, that's what it's all about. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. Look at the...
we have one more slide, John.
No, that's it.
I don't know if it work. Hold on.
Well, hold on. Okay, well, I will admit, I don't have any questions, but I do want to say great job to you all. But I will admit, this is honestly probably like tonight was like the first time I've ever even knew what June 19th was. And honestly, what I'm kind of mad at is like how the history books don't go in depth in like what June 19th actually is. They kind of just say, oh, it's a holiday. They don't go in depth on what it is, and, like the history behind it. So I'm kind of mad about that towards the history books. But great speeches, great talking to all of you guys. You guys spoke with confidence. So congrats.
Thank you. Play the other thing. Well, Tyler, I don't want you to get mad. I want you to go to a college that teaches you your culture. There's 107 historical Black colleges. Malik is a student success coach and a Black Student Union advisor. Find you someone that knows about your culture. I'll be willing to help you learn, but to say you don't know in the age of technology. Like a lot of people just learned about the Tulsa race, Oklahoma, thing that just happened. But see, there's an internet, and anything you want to know is in a book or on the internet. And whatever you want to know, Victoria and Jermaine, they're both knowledgeable. That's why we formed the Bayview BSU, because books lie. As you can see from my pictures, they lie. And I would love to take you on our historical Black college tour so you can go with me to Frederick Douglass House. We will be leaving during spring break. 40 kids, 10 chaperones, and we just toured. We go to museums, we go to colleges. We learn what we don't know here in California. We're heavily on the Black Panthers, but then when you go back south and back east, Africanness, Marcus Garvey things. So the world is big and the libraries are open. So just teach yourself like our ancestors did.
I want to say something now. Brother Malik, I think you broke down the description of our people, our culture very well. And I'm glad you did it the way you did it, because it also lets our young people out there in the community have a great understanding of why some of the things that they do attract to them, right? So when we're talking about rims and we're talking about the cotton on the wheels, the 42 inches, and some of these kids, they like rims and they like all of these things. They don't understand why that attracts to them, but it comes from the history, right? And we got to get back to our young people, understanding the dress culture. Back in the days, that was gangster. Everybody wore a suit and a top hat and a fedora and things of that nature. And I want to see some more of our young people wearing suits, doing the things that they need to do, and and that's where we're going with this type of information, educating our young people about the power of the culture and some of the things that's going on, because I don't want to see my young people out there with their pants sagging and things of that nature. I want them to dress up and be the young people that they are. And I just think it was great, man. That was great information. If anybody missed any of that PowerPoint presentation, I hope you could go back, take a look at it, and really get a true understanding, because it hurted my heart to run across people in the early 40s, early 50s, and never really knew what the true meaning of Juneteenth was, why it was celebrated, and everybody just thought it was a show up and dance and party thing, but it really has some true meaning and history to it. So phenomenal job for the young BSU to come in and do what you all did.
John, can you play that video? Because G10 internet is acting stupid. Can you pull that up for us? Perfect. Can you play that? And Tyler, this is for you.
I can't press play. You can press play, but I can't press play.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Black made this. Black made this.
Wake up, hit the switch, light up. Notice that filament all in the light bulb. Rip a shirt, iron board, use that. Nice dry clean jeans. Nice touch. Walk out, little sister, tricycle fast. That pasta blew up the bathroom. Need a gas mask. Peanut butter jelly, potato chips, lunch pack. Before you leave, kids, grandma, get your backpack. Glad you got a pacemaker, keep a heart good though. See the street sweeper cleaning up the hood, bro. Got her nerves working hard. Past the mailbox, lawnmower, cutting yard edge, the top notch. Light bulb, filament, iron board, potato chips, peanut butter, tricycle, y'all see, gas mask, street sweeper, pacemaker, that's right, lawnmower, mailbox, even that traffic light, rolling down MLK late night, you see the color change, slow down on sight, if you see a yellow when you looking, you ain't right, I see red, green, and gold on that black traffic light, black made that, all that, black made that, all that, black made that, all that, made that, all that, make that light go cool, but that who's matter, make that light improve, if you ever feel improve. If you ever feel you can't shine in class, look up at the light, say black made that. Cause you the spark plug to sky. You need an x-ray to see broken arms. How you think food travels across those states? Bridges and truck keep all that safe. Use a sharpener when your pencil breaks. Keep your valuables in a fire safe. With a super soaker, you can be a water gun shooter. 1 gig processor chip in your computer. Every time you Xbox or a PS4, no, Jerry Lawson made the first console. When you go see a 3D movie, say Hannah and Dunkley brought this to me. That spark plug, x-ray, mobile fridge. Pencil sharpener, processor, 1 gig. Fire safe, super soaker, 3D glasses, 3D movie first console. That's it. Empire's on, who's watching it, mama? Ghost or Tommy, either way. It's drama. When lives, quiver, fits is a gunner. How I know all of this? It's cause Shauna Black made that. All that. 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 All that. Hey. Washington, D.C. is nice. And the president's house is wide. Every time you look at that, know those who built it were black. Facts. It's black made. This black made. When you look at the mirror, smile, cause it's true, you're astonishing. And black made you. Black made that. Geometry. Black made that. Astronomy. Black made that. Philosophy. Black made that.
Hold up, wait. Rio B philosophy, Greeks made that.
No philosophy. We made that. Art, medicine, and even math all started in Africa. We take that. We invented many things, but our patent was taken. I brought for a fraction what it we making. Our culture can be seen in most things in this nation. Let me teach you about. Is that the same thing? Just a difference in a different name. It's taken straight from us, and the thief gets the fame. Look at rock and roll music, to most is great. But Chuck Berry taught Elvis how to shake. Use our dance moves and all our slang. Just know we influence in all these ways. Black make that, all that. Black make that, all that. Black make that, all that. Black make that, all that, all that. Hey, where my patent at? Black make, where my patent at? Hey, where my patent at? You know black made that. Black made that.
Very, very powerful. Great job. Black made that. Young people out there, understand your power, understand your melanin, understand that you are historic and you do the things that people can never do. So when you want to know what was made, it was made by you. So continue to do greatness. And I know we have some Wi-Fi issues, everybody out there, and hopefully Jermaine and Victoria, some of our young people, could go to school and figure out and be the first Black fiber optics people in the community to fix the Wi-Fi issues across this country, to help our young people and our elders in the community have better Wi-Fi connectivity. So there you go. Powerful stuff. We're going to throw up some of the questions, but we're going to have a little conversation as well. I see some of the questions coming up. Kathleen Hicks was asking about the origin of the Juneteenth flag. 1865. What else was out there? Let's see. Great presentation. You guys are getting some love here, Jamel. Y'all did a good job tonight. Phenomenal job. Very amazing. This is powerful. I hope everybody know our young people can empower, enrich, and move our communities forward when they do things like this. And this is why I'm so behind my young people, making sure that they get the right information. They learn the information, because when they get it and they distribute it to the community, they can really empower the community for change. So phenomenal job you all did. But with that being said, we're going to have some real talk real quick before we get off, because this is both sides of the conversation. And I'm not going to let y'all get away without hearing from you all. Given the facts of what we just displayed to the community, Juneteenth, the celebration, the liberation of our freedom, where we at today in America, and you all doing the things that you're doing in school, do you really feel free? And that's the first question I want to throw out there to you. Do you all feel free?
Well, I was freeborn. So yeah, I feel free. I've never had a state ID. I've never been to jail. I've been institutionalized in college, but yeah, I was freeborn. That's why I don't have a last name, because when I learned that the last names of every Black person here was given to them by people who owned them, at Laney College, we all changed our name. So I legally changed my name to Your Majesty Tashelle. But because my friends don't want to call me Your Majesty, they just say Tashelle. And I'm okay with that. But you will not disrespect me by calling me a name of people who bought and sold my ancestors. That's out. So yeah, I totally feel free.
They gave you Tashelle too, right?
No, my Uncle D gave it to me. It's French from his girlfriend he dated. You knew that.
That was just a joke. Y'all know we always having fun here at both sides of the conversation. But to our young people, Victoria, I want to hear from you. Do you feel free? Do you feel the things that your people went through? I know Tashelle put out a meme earlier in this month. There's an $80 billion business on ignorance. And I think that's a very, very powerful being that went out there. And that's why it's important that you, Victoria, you, Tyler, you, Jermaine, come on here and educate our people, because when we don't know this information, people profit off you. And there's an $80 billion industry out there because of things that people don't know. So I'm proud of you. But Victoria, do you feel free here in America today?
Yes and no. It goes in and out. Like sometimes I do, but sometimes it's like, nah. I mean, we definitely made progress, but it's still like racism
I
and,
agree.
equity issues. So it's like we free, but not that free, So I don't know. It's yes and no. It goes in
ain't
and
gonna
out.
cap. We ain't gonna cap. I
We
totally
ain't gonna cap.
agree.
Tell him, Jermaine. Come on, Jermaine.
Like,
Do
I
you feel
totally
free,
agree
Jermaine?
that we as a people are not free. I feel like, yes, our ancestors went through what they went through to get all of us here today, but I feel like we still in a fight for freedom, because it's a lot of things that we still are not being acknowledged for. It's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that people don't really know about, as far as how people are supposed to view Black people. And I feel like we don't get that title of respect from other people, and that's why I feel like we still not free. Because we always want kings and queens, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's really why we ain't free, because it's not there.
Okay, you broke up a little bit, but I heard you said you don't feel like you're free because some of the things that's still happening here in America, from other cultures, from the system. So you still feel like we're not 100% free. Is that
Yeah.
correct? All right,
Yes, that's
Tyler.
correct.
All right, Tyler, what you feel? Do you feel like you free?
No, I don't feel like Black people are actually free, because, in my opinion, there's two types of slavery. There's a physical practice, then you got the mindset. The practice, that was abolished in 1863, but the mindset is still occurring in today. So until that's done, then Black people will be free. But so no, I don't feel free.
I totally agree.
Brother Malik, what about you?
Yeah, I gotta agree with my youngest over here. Like, I believe like there's parts of me that I do feel free. But then there definitely are parts, like I believe in the African proverb of Ubuntu. You know what I'm saying? I am because we are. So I mean, I may be free. I haven't been to jail. I have the privilege of going to gaining my college degree and things like that. But I still have brothers and sisters, aunts, uncles, friends that don't have the privileges that I have. You know what I mean? And so because they're not necessarily free in certain aspects, I can't sit here and say that I am.
Uh-oh, you broke up on us. As you guys can see, the terrible Wi-Fi is getting us again. You breaking up there, brother.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you broke up. You broke up a long time ago. But yeah, go ahead. Try to say that again, because I know it was powerful, but you broke up on us.
No, for sure. No, like I was saying, just I do feel like I'm free in certain instincts, but in other instances, I don't believe that I am. I recognize that I have privileges, and I've had certain experiences that my friends, my cousins, brothers and sisters, mom and dad, aunts, uncles, they didn't have, you know. And so because they weren't allotted those experiences, I can't sit here and say that I'm free because my people aren't free. You know what I'm saying? And as I stated, I believe in the proverb of Ubuntu, the African proverb of Ubuntu. I am because we are. And so when everybody in my circle and everybody in my family is good, I then believe that then I'll be good. And so until everybody's good or free, I won't be free.
All right. And I second that. And I think when we talk about freedom, there's a couple of ways to look at it. We have people in this country who are still being housed, human bodies are being housed, incarcerated, that are not free. We have a financial burden on our people in this country. We're not free financially. But one thing that I can say that I think that I feel free, this body of mine is not free, but this mind. I know that we all working to take these chains off our brains, and I know the young people that's on here tonight are very intelligent. And I know that you guys are going to school. My brother Jermaine is an honor roll student. So that freedom that he possesses is that freedom. Free the dome. When we say freedom, free the dome. And I know Victoria are doing the things, Tyler doing the things to free that dome, to make choices. So that part of freedom, I'm going to give them that. But everything else, I feel like we are still locked up, just in a different form and fashion. So very powerful stuff. And then the last question that I wanted to say before Tashelle speak was the 40 acres in the mill. I know in a couple of weeks we're going to have a conversation here about reparations. And when you see this presentation tonight talking about the 40 acres in the mill that was supposed to be given to the people who were enslaved, and to see where we at today with all of the homelessness, all of the inequities and different things that we still face, how do you guys feel about that? And then how do you think we need to go about these reparations?
Whew. That's a good question.
I could go off. We all, like Black people, we all need reparations just because what's been happened to us for 400 plus years. I don't know how the government would actually individually give money, like, because when I think of things, I think of like things being fair. So like yes, we need reparations, but it's also like, I don't want to make it sound like I don't want to make it sound like I'm going against Black people, but it's like if you give one person something, you got to give other people stuff. So it's like, I don't know how the government would actually like equally split money between, like, for all the Black people, but also all the other races and things like that. But I can definitely say reparations are needed. Like, because I saw something on Instagram or something, or Snapchat or something like that. Like, the Asian community got some like Biden signed something, and that's great. But it's also like, we've been having stuff happen to us for years and years and years, and we ain't got nothing. So reparations are needed. It's just like the biggest question is like, how do we distribute stuff like that and like be fair with it.
Jermaine?
I totally agree. I feel like it's really about everybody trying to become one as a community in a union. I feel like over these years of everybody being out of slavery and segregation, I feel like our main thing that as a Black community have not been doing is keeping the union in ourselves, and like keeping our money in our neighborhood, stuff like that. Like, I feel like the community wise of everything is really just some things that we need to work on.
Jermaine broke up on us. Go ahead, Victoria. You want to jump in there?
It's kind of like a hard topic to think about, because I don't know how every Black person will be accommodated, because it's like, it's so many Black people, and I would rather like they change like our pay, or how like the prisoner pipeline. Like, I don't really want money. You can't really like do nothing with that. I'd rather see like real change, but that's just me. I'm not saying like money wouldn't be good, but I'd rather it like actually do something, because money is just paper at the end of the day. Like I'd rather like systematic stuff change than just, oh, here you go, like stop complaining now, here's some money, like, but that's just me. I don't know.
Brother Malik, I'm gonna disagree with y'all on that. I think there is a monetary component to reparations, but I agree with you about the legislative part that needs to change. I think it needs to go to all the Native Black Americans here in America. Okay, I think that we need to have tax-free payroll taxes. I think we need to have free taxes not being paid on our federal and state taxes. I think there is a monetary component in it, and yeah, some people are going to do whatever with the money. But at this point, I don't care. Our people have been robbed of their equity, and I think there's a big wealth equity gap here in America, and it all stems from money because we live in this country where there's capitalism, classism, and all of that is creating the genocide. So there is a monetary component that needs to take place. So I'll give you that because I love to hear what you say, but don't put out the money, sister. We need this. We need the money. We need you to start a business. We need you to go to college for free. We need you to do the things that you need to do, have a house, and raise your family and give your kids a fair start. So money is a part of it. I think it's never not enough to ask for what we've endured for 400 plus years, as the brother said. So yeah, make sure we keeping that money component in there as well.
Yeah, can y'all?
I think you break it up, Malik. Tashelle, you wanted to jump in there?
Yeah, I want to respond to Mary's comment. She said, I see it as until you have the same equality and the same privileges and access to healthcare, housing, and employment as the white culture, then no, you're not free. So me being who I am, I got all that, Mary. I have that. But my people don't have that. So you're right. I guess my people who live in government housing, receiving Section 8, living in the projects, they don't have what I have, but I do have it. And so do a lot of people who went through the educational pipeline to obtain these things. But I heard what all of you said, and until all my people get it, I guess we really not free. But in my head and in my heart and in my soul, with the Nefertiti I rock and the unks and the tattoos, I got to tell myself I'm free. I have to tell myself that I have came one step ahead of what my ancestors wanted. I'm their wildest dream. I'm MLK's nightmare. I can read, write, and articulate. And I have a plethora of students that can do the same thing. Victoria been on the honor roll since she was born. Jermaine been on the honor roll since the 8th grade. So I have honor roll students. I have a legacy of students, and I'm doing what my ancestors wanted me to do, which is educate. Now the healthcare part, I'm working on that. Because where I live, we have asthma, we have skin problems, we have learning disabilities. But inside of us, we got something that nobody can take. 2.5 milligrams of melanin, organs that are worth $250,000 each. I told class of 2020, you the richest thing stepping on the college. Because when they kill a black man, there's helicopters in the air to extract their organs. Our organs are worth more than anybody's on the planet Earth. So I guess until white people get our organs, they're not equal either. But that's not a comeback. That's just my mentality, because I went to the College of Ethnic Studies. I graduated from a school that embodied me with, hey, be cool. I graduated from a school that empowered me. I graduated from a school that gave me the tools and a degree to be as hood as I want to. It was the blue collar education. But I'm in a community and I see my people are suffering. We live in a food desert. If I wanted a tomato, I would have to go 7 blocks up and 12 blocks over just to get a tomato. If I wanted fruit, there's no fruit at any of these liquor stores out here. So I guess now me and Shaman Walton gonna work on healthy eating, because Bayview BSU did reduce hot chips being sold at these stores in Bayview because that red 40 was killing us, right, Victoria? Do you remember doing that? Capitol Hill, Shirley Weber, Bayview BSU,
Yep.
first on Hill.
Yep.
We got privileges. We just need to utilize them. Quit being scared. Police scared of us. They should be. But we nothing to fear, but we everything to learn. So I don't want to be equal to a white person. I want to say that on live. I don't want to be equal to you. I just want to be respected. And I want you to always know I'm a human being and I love them all. And that's what Bayview BSU does. We educate people to let y'all know who we are, who we be, because we don't want to be like you. Juneteenth on the East Coast, y'all go to 4th of July. On the West Coast, we Huey Newton all day. I don't do nothing. I don't even own an American flag. I own Pan-African flags everywhere. Everywhere. That's just my culture. And reparations, just pay my student loans off. That's all I'm asking. Going to a HBCU, you got me paying all this interest. Just pay my student loans off. That's all I want. And then, keep your money.
So I wanted to say something about the reparations part. I agree with like all sides of everything that's been spoken. I personally feel like, like there definitely is a benefit of us getting a financial or monetary equivalent to our white counterparts. But like Victoria said, I mean, it's more so what are we talking about with these structures, right? If you look at the Louisiana Purchase, right? Back when Thomas Jefferson was finna purchase that whole Louisiana, like it was a big old, go type in Louisiana, Jesus, go type in Louisiana Purchase up in Google, and you'll see this big old glob within just the middle of America, right? So Thomas Jefferson was going to put all black people in that territory. You feel me? And to some people, like that sound like that's like what? That's kind of crazy. To others, that's cool. You feel me? But I say that to say, look at what's happened when we've gotten our own, right? When we had Tulsa, right? What did white people do? You feel me? We just sat here and gave the breakdown of the Emancipation Proclamation, right? It took 2 years for Southerners in Texas to understand or recognize or get the word that, we free. And then on top of that is you have slave owners from Mississippi, from Alabama, pushing their slaves into Texas because they want to get the maximum work out of their slaves, right? Or enslaved African Americans, right? You then also, within the Union coming through and announcing to black people that, hey, y'all are free. That same year, July, it was in June, you have July 19th, August, September, October, November, December, 6 more months, right? About 6 more months. You then have the KKK come through, organize, and start to murder and put fear or attempt to put fear in black people. And so I think that that's something to be highlighted. Okay, yeah, we get these reparations, but then what is this system going to do? This system gave us money, but then what, And so I think that it, like what Victoria was talking about, that point of the systems that need to be instilled. We've shown that we are more than sufficient. We've shown that we can be left alone and thrive just off of us. But we need to be left alone. You know what I'm saying? Or at least respected to be our own people. So, to that point, I also want to plug this book. My screen is frozen, but it's called STEM.
Yeah, put the information in the chat. We'll get it up on the screen.
Will do. And I read this I was in a manhood class at Willie Brown, teaching 7th and 8th graders Black history. And in that book, I'm 28 years old. In that book is when I found out about what the Louisiana Purchase really was. And so we have a deep history, but I as far as the reparations, that's a tricky thing for me.
I hear you, and I just want to say thank you for the feedback, brother. But I respectfully disagree with the statement about our people are sufficient. I'm not going to agree with that. But respectfully, I heard what you said. I take that. But respectfully, I disagree because our people out here in this country are doing bad. Okay. Financially, we are strapped. The homeless rates, the poverty that we are faced, the unemployment. We are definitely struggling here in America, and financial means is what we need to impact our people to so we can have the equity and the things that's needed to be sustainable. So I respectfully disagree, but I hear you, brother. Great points. We will work on that. I would like to see the Constitution rewrote. It's a lot of things that we could talk about, but respectfully, I'm gonna say our people are not doing so great, and I don't think not getting the monetary part is definitely something that I don't agree with. I think we need the money. Definitely, I think the student loans and the educational part needs to happen. But we cannot say our people are okay when we have teachers who cannot work in the cities to live in the cities where they work. So we have things of that nature that we have to work on. So I respectfully disagree. But put the book up there. Definitely, I want to read it and check it out. But again, I don't want our young people. I want to educate them and empower them. There is a financial component to reparation that needs to happen to push this wealth gap up and get our people in position to win with ownership. We lost about, I think somebody said it was maybe $3 trillion from Black Wall Street to now. To equate what that would be. So we lost a lot of generational wealth. So I'm not going to just say we don't need money. We definitely need money. We need the legislative process to happen and things of that nature. But we definitely going to need the money as well to help our people out because we are suffering here in America. All right. With that being said, anybody else want to say anything? Victoria, Jermaine, Tyler, Tashelle?
Thank you for allowing 100% College Prep to come onto your platform during the pandemic. You have truly been an inspiration in uplifting the souls of Black students. So you get a round of applause for me and a community award when you come to the block party. You are responsible for these Black males. You did a very good job at mentoring them. So I'm going to publicly say thank you. And Jermaine and Victoria, y'all can log off because y'all been at school since 8 o'clock this morning. My 2 honor roll students, I'll see y'all at the block party. And Malik, one of a kind, rare, fine, rare kind. Thank you so much. And Tyler, I see you on the Black College.
Everybody.
I just want to say before y'all leave, AB 1749, I want my day off and I want my Juneteenth flag. So Tashelle, find out where we're going to get these Juneteenth flags. I want every kid in every classroom to own a Juneteenth flag. Every Black-led organization, we need a Juneteenth flag. Please, let's order some Juneteenth flags. I want to wrap my whole body
on the street.
I'm going to wrap my whole body in the Juneteenth flag. So I want flags ordered everywhere. I want June 19th, the national holiday. Everybody call your boss, call your HR, tell them we want the day off. California is the National Free Day. Great presentation from the Bayview Black Student Union, 100% College Prep. And to our young juniors on here, phenomenal young people. Looking forward to seeing y'all this weekend to celebrate you all.
Yes.
All right.
All right, I'll have your flag. It's going to be on paper.
All right, everybody. Want to go ahead and thank everybody for tuning in to tonight's Educational Thursday presentation. As you guys can see, our young people are phenomenal. They have a lot of information. They're learning and growing, and they're giving it back to the people. That's what we do here at both sides of the conversation with this platform on this segment, is to intentionally educate the community with information that sometimes they might don't have digitally. And we'll have this up on our website, our YouTube. You can replay it and watch it. Phenomenal conversation. Look at our young people. These are juniors, and they have a mind. They're thinking, and we're going to continue to engage them and have them a part of this platform to make sure that we equip them and enrich them with the information that they need so that they could go ahead and make sure that the next generation under them gets the information and we all get to the level playing field. So just want to thank our young people across the country, class of 2021, a lot of phenomenal kids graduating. People out there need to understand these young people that was on here today, they have did something that even I haven't done. We never went through a pandemic and did digital online school teaching. So they had Zoom school. So for these kids to overcome and do the things that they did and still walk across the stage is very powerful. So I hope everybody in the community continue to uplift our young people, support them. Education is number one. We will get to where we get to when people have the information that they need, and we'll continue to do our part here at Both Sides of the Conversation as we continue to change the narrative and hear the stories from our voices, our young people. Y'all heard from them tonight as we start impacting change. With that being said, before we end tonight's segment, this Sunday, special conversation community, please show up and acknowledge and support our fathers. We're going to have a Father Day conversation. We plan to have this on Father's Day, but we wanted to respect the dads who had children and family members that wanted to spend time with them. So we're going to have our Father's Day recognition this Sunday. We're going to have some phenomenal men come on, talk about fatherhood, educate some of the community about the things that they went through, going through fatherhood. How do we bring the man back into the community? How do we get our men back involved with our youth? And how do we get our men back involved with the families and bring this village thing that we call village together? I think it's going to be a phenomenal conversation. We have some different perspective, different type of brothers that's going to be coming on. But community, I want all of the ladies in the community, come on, support our dads, give them some love, because there are some phenomenal dads out here that do some phenomenal things for our children and our families in the community. So please show up this Sunday at 2 p.m. Come support our dads, show them some love, because there are some great dads out here that's doing phenomenal things in our community. And then next Tuesday, we'll have another Hidden Gem segment where we'll bring on some more Black and brown businesses and highlight some community leaders that are doing phenomenal things that impact our community. I think that's what we just have to keep doing, showing this love and solidarity, uplifting each other, enriching each other. And as we do that, things will start to shift and change. And then the following week, we'll be out in the community for Juneteenth, going around the Bay Area. We'll be at all these different events, highlighting, getting information from the community and talking to them about Juneteenth and things of that nature. So with that being said, I'm going to end tonight's show. Thank you all for watching. I hope you found this information very valuable. And we know our people in the community prideful. Some people might didn't know, but tonight you were educated. You can't say today you didn't learn something, because I learned a lot today. I'm going to get my Juneteenth flag, and I'm going to celebrate with the community and our young people as well. So with that being said, see you all this Sunday for our next episode where we'll be highlighting our dads of the community. Good evening, everyone. Have a blessed one and be safe.